What's there not to love about lasagna? And today I'm whipping up a savory ground beef lasagna. So, first and foremost, to make my lasagna, what I need to do is brown my ground beef, and then once it's brown, I'm going to add in some minced garlic. So I have about 5 or 6 cloves of minced garlic. I love garlic. And then I have some dried herbs. So I have some dried oregano and also some dried basil, and then of course salt and pepper. So first and foremost, I'll get started by browning my ground beef. Place it on the stove here. And then in the meantime, I've already made my marinara sauce. So the marinara sauce recipe is super simple. In fact, if you don't know how to make a marinara sauce from scratch, then definitely check out my how to make a marinara sauce. It's easy and it's so good, and you know exactly what's in it. No preservatives or artificial ingredients. And then I also made my own ricotta. So, I know you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds crazy. Must be so difficult to make your own cheese, but actually making ricotta cheese is super simple. If you have some milk and some lemon juice in your fridge, then you have ricotta. So, I made my fresh ricotta cheese using just milk and lemon juice, and then I drained it. And so it's fresh, it's super flavorful, and so good. So, you can also check out that video on how to make your own fresh ricotta cheese. So, in the meantime, I'm going to get started by browning my ground beef, and then we'll start assembling our delicious lasagna. Okay, so now my ground beef is nicely browned and so flavorful with the dried herbs and the garlic and some salt and pepper. Tastes really good. So now it's time to start laying my lasagna. So what I like to do first and foremost is no matter what size pan I'm using, I like to just take a little bit of marinara sauce and just put it on the bottom of the pan. And I find that especially when I'm using the noodles that don't require pre-cooking, that this kind of helps set up the base nice and good so that the noodles stay moist and cook nicely. So now, first layer, a little bit of marinara sauce. Next up, it's time for the noodles. So just layer in the noodles. I love making lasagna because it's so beautiful and you can make it ahead of time, but then it's also super simple, right? It's not rocket science. And then for the parts that don't really fit, you know, if your pan doesn't really match the lasagna pieces, I just break them in half, just like that. Perfect. So now I have my first layer of lasagna. I'm going to take some more marinara sauce, just put it right over. And for tools, I love working with wooden spoons, but also when I'm making lasagna, since it's kind of like similar to cake, I also like to use a spatula to help me just work all of the ingredients perfectly on the lasagna, especially when I'm working with the ricotta cheese. So good. When I was a kid, my mom used to make lasagna, especially on Sundays, and I could hardly wait until it got out of the oven, and then when it was done out of the oven, I couldn't wait for the cool time. So now I'm going to take some of the ground beef, make a nice layer of ground beef. So good. And what's great about lasagna is if your layers taste good, like on their own, if the marinara sauce tastes good, if the meat tastes good, if the ricotta tastes good, then you're going to end up with a nice lasagna, a great finished product. It's really hard to mess it up from there. So I'm just making one big layer of meat. Oh my goodness, so good. And if you wanted to make this vegetarian, what I love to do when I make a vegetarian lasagna, I either make it with eggplant, like roasted eggplant, so good, and super simple, or I make it with sometimes zucchini, or even like mushrooms is really good, and it's really hearty. Like mushrooms and spinach is a really good combo. Now that I have this layer, I'm literally going to take some more of my pasta and just layer it right on, just like that. So simple. And what I love about this recipe is you can get so many people involved in making this. When I was a kid, my mom used to have us in the kitchen right by her side, helping her to prepare the food, which is where I love to be. So now I'm going to take some more marinara sauce, layer it right over another layer of pasta. So good. And super simple, right? What I love to do is I love to make this ahead of time. So what I will do is sometimes make it in the morning and then pop it in the fridge, and then when I get off work, then I can just come home and just preheat my oven and pop it in, and then it's no stress, no dishes to clean up, and it's ready when the guests get there and you're house smells amazing. So it smells like you've been cooking all day when really you just did the prep in the morning and had the delicious finished results. Okay, so now I'm going to add my delicious ricotta. Just like that. And you can either choose to smooth it on or you can just kind of place it in clumps. And I'm just sort of clumping mine, just like that. And this is a fresh ricotta. Now I know definitely store-bought is the easier option for sure, and especially if you're making this in a flash, then definitely store-bought ricotta, obviously. But if you have a little extra time, definitely try making your own ricotta. It's super simple and so good, and you'll taste the difference immediately. I cannot even describe, but it just tastes super fresh. Alright, so there we have our lovely ricotta. Now we're going to add another layer of lasagna. So just place it right in, just like that. And I love these pre-cooked noodles. At first I was kind of skeptical. You know, I'm pretty old-fashioned when it comes to a lot of cooking things, and I thought to myself, pre-cooked noodles, I don't know about that. But actually they're really wonderful, and they cook up really nicely. So if you're kind of nervous about using the pre-cooked noodles, don't worry, they're so good. And they'll work out just fine. Alright, so we are almost at the top layer. What's great about this is you can determine what goes in between each layer. And I like to definitely incorporate a lot of sauce in mine, just so that it's nice and flavorful and the noodles have something to absorb, something to work with. Whoa. Then one more layer of lasagna. Put the noodles right in just like that. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a big one. When I was a kid, my mom would make ones like twice this size, but with a family of 7, you need a lot of lasagna. Alright, now for the final layer, and I think I'm going to get my spatula involved in this layer because I want to make sure to get all of my delicious marinara sauce out of my pots. So, just place this right here, pick up my spatula, and just scrape out all of the delicious marinara sauce. Oh my goodness, so good, so simple. Right, so now that I have my marinara sauce all smoothed over, what I'm going to do now is for the top layer, I like to add mozzarella cheese. You could definitely also add Parmesan cheese or even a combo of both mozzarella and Parmesan, but I love definitely mozzarella. So I am going to sprinkle liberally. Sprinkle as you wish. So I love, you know, when you cut a piece of lasagna and it's nice and cheesy. Oh my gosh, there's just nothing like it. Perfect. That looks so good. I'm really excited to eat this. Now, since this is going to be for later, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with some foil, pop it in the fridge, and then in about an hour or so, I'm going to pop it in the oven, and then when my guests get here, I'm going to have delicious meat lasagna. It's going to be so good. Okay, so my lasagna has been cooking, and it smells so good. And now it's time to take it out of the oven. So, got my oven mitt. Oh man, so good. Nicely browned on the top and sizzling in the middle. So good. Now I'm gonna let it cool for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then it'll be time to cut into our delicious lasagna. So good. I'm so excited to give this one a try. So thank you so much for checking out this video on how to make beef lasagna. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Until then, see ya!